Now, before we go any further, with all the water we've been finding in this thing, we're going to pull the plug. Wow. What's going on? Nothing coming out. That's not a good sign. Not a good sign at all. I'm thinking I'm going to have to take the motor off of the base. The governor is frozen, and the governor might be frozen because it was run dry. And if that's true, you might have other issues down inside. And there's indications of rust. See that? That's the gear on the magneto. Indications of rust on that. That's not a good thing. Okay, we'll be doing some more tear down. We're going to take the oil sump off now. We got the mounting plate. That plate that was on the bottom there, that's all it was, just a mounting plate. Well, do a little cleanup here and I'll show you what I found. Actually, we may be happy that this is an oil-cooled motor. Somebody mentioned about a cracked block. Well, you don't have to worry too much about a cracked block on an air-cooled motor. But you do have to be concerned about a cracked oil pan. And that's why there is no oil in the motor. Evidently the oil pan got filled up with water. See all the rust in there? And yep, it froze and cracked the aluminum. But the crack is in such a way that I'm thinking if I find somebody here locally that can do some MIG welding, aluminum MIG welding, they could weld that right up for me. It's not critical as far as machine parts go. Let's take a look inside the motor. I'm all greasy and slimy and yeah, everything has a coating of rust on it. And I'm wondering about the oil pump. These do have an oil pump that actually sprays oil in here. This is not just a splash system. Let me bring you over here, show you what I'm talking about. There we are, down inside our motor, and there's a light coating of rust on things. but it's not solid rust, which tells me that other than the crack in the bottom, it's been pretty well protected in there. The bearing is not seized to the crankshaft. We saw that the gear for the magneto was rusted. That's that one up in there to the left. In this part right here, this here is the oil pump, and I will have to take that off and find out what the story is with that. And the governor is right up there. I'll have to see if I can loosen that up. I can spray some penetrating oil up in there. That rod right there is the governor rod, and you can see the rust on it. And it rides on this shaft here, which is attached to the crankshaft. Yeah. So it needs some penetrating oil on it. We'll do it top and bottom and see if we can get that loosened up and spray some on that surface there. Yeah, it's not what I would hope to see. Now my decision is, do I need to take it all apart and just clean it all up before I put it back together? Inspect the bearings and so forth. And that might be a smart thing. But I guess before I go doing any of that, I have to find out if I can get somebody to weld up my oil pan. All right then. Till next time, I'm not going to putter with this more. I got stuff to do in the house. But I had to come out here. I did pull the valve springs out along with the valves. And one of the things I noticed on the, this is something I haven't seen before. This is on the exhaust valve spring. See that? Let me, there. It has bearings up in there, like ball bearings. So I guess that allows for the exhaust valve to turn. I don't know. Maybe. Not something that I've seen before. Usually they're like this one here. Like this one here that just has a flat seat. And the keepers go up in there and clamp around the bottom of the valve. Well, the valve springs look okay. And like we showed you before, the valves look pretty good. So that's where we're at. It could get expensive if I have to start replacing bearings and stuff like that. And expensive is not part of my vocabulary right now. Okay, no more babbling. Till next time, this is George, the Shade Tree Fix-It Man. And I don't know who that guy is that keeps creeping up all the time. Every time I'm getting ready to video something, I see him creeping up over the top.